Okay, we gotta talk about something very serious right now. We gotta talk about the bravest thing anyone could ever do on the internet, and that is say their opinion about a piece of music. If you just say what you think about a piece of music, someone that disagrees with you might say something very, very mean to you, okay? So if you're ready for the mean things to be said to you, by all means, fire away with your genuine opinion, okay? And I did this a little bit on my Instagram account today, and I got a bunch of bullets my way, so I'm here to address it, and I might even change a ranking based on the pressure of the community, okay? But it might not be for the reasons that you think. I'm not being pushed into a corner. I'm not being submitted by any way, but I might have to readdress something here. Hey, how's it going? My name is Dan Frampton, and today is all about the painful truth of Pain of Truth, okay? Now, if you're not familiar with Pain of Truth, they're this hardcore band, okay? They think they're big and tough, okay? And they're out here with their first full-length record that the whole hardcore scene just went crazy for, and by all means, go crazy for this thing. If you like this music, please enjoy this music. But if you go over to my Instagram account, you see these little rankings I've been given records, right? And this Pain of Truth one, when I listened to it, as you can see, I gave it a dud, okay? So I went through the track listing, and as I was listening to it, I was like, okay, all these riffs sound exactly the same. All these songs are exactly the same. Sure, it scratches that very specific New York hardcore itch. That if you have that itch, it is going to scratch that so well over and over and over again without any variation. The band thinks the variation comes with bringing in features. They think, oh, this song has this guy and this song has this guy. Oh, and we brought this guy back from a long time ago. Isn't that cool? But all that reads to me is like a big network flex, okay? You're out here telling me who you're friends with. You're out here trying to prove to me that you are legitimate, that you are the ones that are going to be running the streets of New York. And that leads me to another thing, okay? Bands like Madball, bands like Marauder, they were running the streets of New York forever, and right now Pain of Truth is the band, right? They are the modern band, and they just want to be passed that torch so bad. But instead of Madball passing the torch to Pain of Truth, we have Pain of Truth out here writing their own torch passing. We're ready to run the streets now, okay? We're the new band. And that doesn't really ring very genuine to me. That's kind of cringe, okay? Now, if these bands featured Pain of Truth on their records and passed the torch to them, like, willingly, then sure, that would have been sick. And I would have been like, all right, okay, I guess Pain of Truth are now running the streets of New York. But they're out here just being like, we run the streets of New York, everyone. Look at all our friends. Do you see our friends? We've collected all these friends over here. Look at our Rolodex, okay? Because we're so obsessed with the 80s that we still use Rolodexes, all right? We're just out here doing Marauder worship, okay? We want George Marauder to be the shining savior for us forever, okay? Freddie Madball, all right? He's like our Jesus Christ, and we walk in the footsteps that they laid down without any variation whatsoever. Same riff after same riff after same riff, okay? We've been doing the same breakdown bits forever. We've been doing the same call and response vocal chants forever. Nothing is changing. Nothing is fresh. And apparently you're running the streets in New York? Well, good on you, everybody. But that's fine. If you're out here making music that I don't like, that is totally cool, okay? I'm just outlining the reasons why I don't like it. But because New York hardcore is all about New York hardcore, as soon as you say anything that deviates from it, you are the enemy, okay? So I went on here, called this record a dud, and people went a little bit aggro, okay? Now, a lot of these comments, you might be like, hey, I don't see them. Are you hiding them? No, you gotta actually, press the plus button because Instagram is hiding all this, crazy stuff that people are saying to me. The things people will post for attention. Weak as fuck. Now, I don't normally respond to things, but I definitely engaged with this one for a little bit. So if you want to see that little text exchange between me and someone else, you can go over to this little post over here. But these people were getting so angry. These people are like, you don't have any testosterone, you're so weak. You know what I mean? They're just trying to call me the F slur without getting like banned from the internet because they know they can't call me the F slur. But if I was in public, you know, with these people, they would be like shouting that at me. That's the kind of vibe that I'm getting from all these dudes right now. And they're just calling me a tourist like I've never been around. I've been around for over 20 years, people, okay? So I know what you mean when you say, oh, this post lacks testosterone. I know what you're trying to say, which is why I sported my most beautiful manly pink shirt for the occasion. If you're out here disagreeing with me, that's cool. If you love this record, that's great. I want you to enjoy music that you enjoy. Why would I not want that? If you really do believe that it is the best hardcore record in the past 8 to 10 years, please have that opinion. That's great. But why don't you like music that sounds anything other than New York hardcore? You know what I mean? They haven't done anything different here. It is the same fucking record that you've heard a million goddamn times. Just spin Marauder, okay? If you want to throw on Madball, throw on Madball. What is the point of this record other than to like continue a legacy in something that has been trying to change, that's something that has been trying to evolve, all right? So these guys finally put out a record that hasn't been put out in 10 years that sounds exactly like the same goddamn crap that's been coming out for decades, and people are loving it. People are thinking it's so great. But here's my main critique about it. After I spun this record a couple more times afterwards, all right, I'm like, you know what? This is everything toxic, and this is everything bad that I've always hated about the culture. Everything that has always annoyed me about what goes on in the scene, just all condensed into one really like tense ball of anger. You know what I mean? And normally a little tense ball of anger is great, but it normally comes with a release. That's why hardcore is great, because you go to a show and it comes with this release. But this doesn't feel like a release of anger. This just feels like pent-up energy, misplaced masculinity, and a bunch of alpha male jocks trying to push nerds like me into lockers, okay? And for what? Having an opinion about a record you don't like? That seems pretty silly, you know what I mean? And some people on other records that I say I don't like, you know what they say? They say, oh, that's funny. I like this record, actually. I like this part and this part, you know, and that's a totally cool way to do it. I want to hear differencing of opinions, but to come on here and be like, this post is severely lacking testosterone, I know what you're trying to say, buddy. You think I haven't been on the B9 forums back in the day? You know what I mean? I've heard the worst of the worst. You're not going to hurt my feelings, and the fact that I cammed up right now is going to make you guys more emotional than I will ever be about anything in my entire life, and that's just silly. Because I know this is more than music to you. I know this is culture to you. But guess what? It is just music. It is just culture, all right? It isn't life or death. This doesn't mean anything at the end of the day. I'm glad you found a spot in the streets of New York, all right? If that's where you think that you belong, and this is the record that really, like, signifies that to you, then that is great. Keep enjoying it. Put on your white tank tops and your stupid bandanas and head out to the streets. And another thing people are saying, they're like, hey, how can you say that? You know these guys are, like, dangerous. Right? These guys are actually violent. And like, yeah, that's fine. It's music. I'm not talking about them as people. I'm probably scared of them as people for sure. Yeah, I don't want to be caught in the same room as these people. You think I'm going to a Pain of Truth show anytime soon? Nuh-uh, not happening. No way. That isn't the kind of place that is for this kind of guy, okay? And I know that from a million miles away. You will never see me even on the streets of New York because of bands like this. Not tough, not hard, not cool, not entertaining, not creative, like literally devoid of everything, and actually damaging, okay? Which is why I have to change the rating of this record, okay? I rated it a dud, which means neither good, no bad, whatever, it's just a dud, you know what I mean? It's like I'm not even gonna bother talking about it. But here I am talking about how damaging it is, and I have a whole tier for damaging records that suck and just embody everything that's bad about everything, okay? And that is -2 stars. All right, Pain of Truth guys, people of New York. All right, this Pain of Truth record, Not Through Blood, is gonna get one of the worst ratings that I've ever given a record. -2 stars, right up there with this year's Anti-Flag. And that, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, is the painful truth about Pain of Truth. Okay, see you later.